traveling to many places. Bangalore is actually very fortunate. Bangalore overall is very fortunate from the point of view of having a center of solid physical base here, where you can actually go there and then attend teachings there. For example, in Mumbai and other places, I always emphasize the need to have some physical space for people to go. And also in Assam and in Italy and in many places, this is my main. Working?
It's working, yeah.
Jay, can you hear me? Okay. But who are the speakers? Loudspeakers.
What is that behind me?
Oh, okay. Yeah. Okay. So for people to be connected for spirituality, not necessarily to become a Buddhist. This is not the point. This is not for somebody to become Buddhist. We see that particularly today is a digital world where the people they are so busy communicating with people, but do not know how to communicate with the person sitting next to you. And if there are three people will be on the phone, 3 phones, and they are talking to somebody else. And the person you are talking to, if that person is sitting next to you, you will not talk to the person, and you talk to somebody else. So this is what the world is. We don't know how to communicate with the people around us. We don't know what's the meaning of to be society, to be social. We don't know that. Now, all because of the computer development and the computer and technology, it has a great benefit, but this is the downside, a severe downside of the digital development. So with this in mind, naturally we are social animal. We need the feeling of love and affection from each other. We need the support of each other. And the digital, the gadgets, they can replace the human warmth. So therefore people, they tend to go into depression more and more. So the youngsters, the number of the youngsters who go into depression is just exponentially increasing. This is a fact. Okay. So therefore, the Bangalore to have such a physical space, location for people to come to attend teachings, and a body of trustees to take care of the center, to make sure that the center is operating. From that point of view, Bangalore overall is very fortunate. And as I said earlier, it's not about Buddhism or Buddhist center. This is not the point. The point is people to come and take respite. At least breathe normally. We don't even know how to breathe. Outside there's so much tension, depression, competition. And so just come here, breathe. Take a deep breath, keep the gadget aside, and take a deep breath. So learn how to breathe, and learn how to see each other. Learn how to feel compassion, affection towards others. Learn how to enrich your wisdom, intelligence. That's very important. Okay, with that in mind, let us turn to page 3 of the book. book, all the books have the same. We're on the same page. Page 3, is it? Good. Okay, so we are here to share a study of the three principal aspects of the path, or the three principal paths, and composed by an incredibly great Saint scholar. And if you read his books, and particularly if you get the privilege of knowing what he's written there, if you digesting in the first place, be able to fathom what is written there, be able to imbibe what is written there, then you'll be fascinated to see that somebody of such a highly intellect, incredibly developed, incredibly sophisticated intellect appear on this earth. And from this we can learn a lot. The psychology, cognitive psychology, and the positive psychology. We will learn a great deal from this great author. So this is what we're going to learn. And because of that, you will realize that this is a great, incredibly precious text, and which is so close to the heart of His Holiness the Dalai Lama. And once you understand what is written there, if you're lucky enough, you will see that whatever you are studying in your schools, universities, colleges, institutions, and then whatever work that you've been doing in your workplace, your job, workplace, business, corporate, wherever, what you will learn is going to be incredible relevance and of benefit. To keep your mind calm, cool, to look at things from a very different perspective, from a very different outlook. So this is going to be extremely precious. Again, I'm reiterating this, that this has nothing to do with your, say, the belief system. It's purely to make yourself a happier person, more sensible person. That's it. Take this message with you, and then apply this to yourself to see how, in what way it benefits your mind, benefits you to keep your mind calm, cool, stress-free. One, and then people around you, your classmates, the university friends, and at the workplace, your colleagues, everybody is bound to see something different in you, that you're more calm, peaceful. And then they go through difficulties, challenges, they're bound to come to you. And how are you able to maintain such a calmness in this difficult time, challenging time? How to maintain this calmness? Where do you get this calmness from? Then we can help them. This is how we can contribute to the society. It's not about, and with this, if this is what is happening to you, you as Hindus, remain good Hindus. As Muslims, remain good Muslim. As Jains, remain good Jain. And as non-believers, remain good non-believers. That's perfect. And if you're a Sikh, remain good Sikh. Or Jews, good Jews. Or Christians, good Christians. This is what we should be aspiring. That is the number one important thing. So therefore, I always share with people that religion is for your happiness, not your happiness for religion. Let's not forget this. Religion is for your happiness. Your happiness is not for religion. Don't forget it. People, they just think of in a wrong way. They see the happiness for religion, then things go wrong. Then the fundamentalism, the fanaticism, they all come out of this, believing that your happiness is for religion. No. If you look at the story of all these great teachers, for example, let's say Mahavir, Lord Mahavir, he was a prince. And then he saw so much of violence around. he saw that this is what creates problem in the community, what creates pain in the community. So for that reason, he advocated ahimsa. He advocated non-violence as the main to just promote this non-violence. And then alongside Lord Mahavir, Lord Buddha appeared. He saw so much of biases, problems, the common people go through in his own kingdom, in the palace, outside the palace. He saw wars happening, because of which he started to look for a solution to solve these problems, human problems, not to promote Buddhism, but to promote the peace and happiness in the world. Then, 2000 years ago, 2019 years ago, Jesus Christ appeared on this earth. Again, he fought for the common people. So much injustice is there, he fought for the common people. Finally, he even gave his life for common people, to speak for the common people. And then later on, say the Prophet Muhammad, you read Prophet Muhammad's biography, it's greatly inspiring. Such an integrity there, so much chaos in the Arabic countries there. And then he came there. He was so well respected, and then because of him, then the things were under control. And then Baha'u'llah, Baha'i religion, Baha'u'llah, he was persecuted. He died because of persecution. And the Baha'u'llah's the one who professed his coming on this earth. His name is, I forgot his name. So they were all, both of them were persecuted. So look, all these great teachers, they came on this earth in order to dissolve the injustices in the community, not to promote their religion. So the idea that we, who are more sensible people, it is our responsibility to make sure that these great saints later on came to be known as isms, different isms, Hinduism, Islam, Buddhism, Jainism, Christianity, Judaism, Baha'i, and Sikhism. All these the systems, isms, they came into being. They are all later developments. First, what we had those great teachers. These good teachers, they did not come to promote the isms, to promote the peace, happiness in this world. So we have to keep in mind that finally what they taught later became as isms. They are for the happiness and peace of the world. Not that the peace of the world for these isms. Let us not forget that. So with this in mind, we can be very confident that coming to Choe, studying, do meditations, this should make you a good human being. That is number one important thing. Then alongside, if you are a Hindu, remain a good Hindu. If you are Muslim, remain a good Muslim. Jain, remain a good Jain. Sikh, remain a good Sikh. Christian, remain a good Christian. Make sure that as following this or that religion, you contribute to your family, to make the family a happier family, where there's a family quarrels, fights, discrepancies. See that these all dissolve. That is so important. So this we should not forget. With this in mind, whole purpose of our coming together for the next 2 days, today and tomorrow, is to make ourselves, not only you, myself, and the Geshe and Venerable and all of us here, for us to become a better person, for us to become a good person. With this in mind, let us visualize all the enlightened beings who we see as a source of inspiration for all of us, pertaining to the unconditional love and pertaining to the wisdom to see the interdependency of all phenomena. So with that in mind, let's visualize all these enlightened beings. And how you visualize them, that makes the whole difference. You visualize them as your very affectionate parents, and imagine that you come home demoralized from your school, after being bullied by the elder children at school, and your parents are waiting there to give full love, affection, attention, and embrace. And visualize your two parents on the two sides. Visualize all the family members, including your children, brothers, sisters, uncles, aunts, and everyone here in Bangalore, the human beings, animals, insects, the spirits, god and goddesses, hell beings, hungry ghost beings, everyone in Bangalore, and everyone in the entire world, and everyone in the entire Milky Way galaxy, and everyone in the entire universe. And here, you visualize yourself as the mother, and all others are your children. And the fact that they don't know the reality, because of which they are suffering terribly, all the problems somehow rooted to the ignorance. And ignorance means not knowing the reality. Failing to see the reality, they suffer so much, so much. All the problems that we see around, the fights in the families, then at the workplace, fragmentation is happening, discourse happening. They are all because of the ignorance, self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Keep in mind that my job here for today and tomorrow is to quell all these the ignorance, all degrees of ignorance, and replace this ignorance with the wisdom to see the interdependency of each other, which would then lead us to realize, appreciate the value of others, appreciate the presence of others. Okay, with this mind, you are leading this, and all beings are joining you. Page 3. And here's by great compassion, who taught the Immaculate Dharma, which is for all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here's by great compassion, who taught the Immaculate Dharma, which is for all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here's by great compassion, who taught the Immaculate Dharma, which is for all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. And here's by great compassion, who taught the Immaculate Dharma, which is for all perverted views, to you the Buddha Dharma, I pay homage. Sanje Juda Soge Chonam Na Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyatso Chim Age Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Jola Penjere Sanje Jubara Sho Sanje Juda Soge Chonam Na Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyatso Chim Age Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Jola Penjere Sanje Jubara Sho Sanje Choda Soge Chonam Na Chanjo Bardo Dane Gyatso Chi Dage Jinso Gebe Sonam Ge Dola Pekir Sanje Rubara Sho. I go for refuge and turn enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge and turn enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, and Sangha by my accumulations of practice of giving and so forth. May I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no rising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme of all teachers, the one who taught his beings through your vibrations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the Bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, who through the knowledge of all years is complete peace, who through the knowledge of the past causes those having vibrations achieve aid to the world, and who through the professional omniscience helps subduers expand a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to the benefits of human beings. The teacher, the guardian, the protector, the one who has eliminated verbal conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine goddess in the vast and the profound, who eternally shines forth the fruitful noble libraries, to you the Buddha make illustrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I take the mind full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Okay, let's recite this mantra. The meaning of the mantra, I'll quickly explain this. One, the meaning is, one will find down here, but I will give you the word meaning. Word meaning. Om, the first syllable Om, Om, this syllable is common to all the three traditions. I would say four traditions: Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, Sikhism. And this syllable Om is consistent. It is constituted of three letters: A, U, Ma. Three letters: A, U, Ma. And these three letters, they symbolize the body, speech, and mind. What we have, close windows. The young boys, when they drive the bike, young boys, the bike is amazing.
Sometimes we see them nowadays. Sports cars.
Okay, that's true, that's true. Yeah. Okay. This also is closed already?
That's what it's open.
Open? We can close that, yeah. Shantideva is going to keep the door open if somebody wants to come in. Okay, I know the ovens will be suffocated. Yeah. Okay, let's see, in case the vessel is suffocating, we'll open it again. But keep the door open. Okay. Om, the syllable Om symbolizes that, is constituted of the three letters. A, U, Ma. Combined together, it becomes Om. It does not become Let's not forget it. A-uma, although it's not A-oma, it's A-uma. Combined together, it becomes O. These three letters symbolize the body, speech, and mind of each one of us, and the body, speech, and mind of the enlightened beings. Enlightened beings doesn't mean outside there, enlightenment is there. Each one of us, when we become enlightened, our body, speech, and mind, when we become enlightened, these are symbolized by A-uma, and the body, speech, mind that we have now is also symbolized by A-uma. So when we recite this syllable Om, it should remind us that I should not remain as ordinary as what I am today. I should keep improving myself. I should keep improving myself, progressing myself to the extent that my body should become the body of the divine being. My speech should become the speech of the divine being. And my mind should become the mind of the divine being. This is what we should be reminded of. Then the next question is how? How can I become the divine being? My body, speech, and mind. How can my body, speech, and mind become the divine being? So for that matter, Ye dharma hetu prabhava hetum desham tadhagato hyavatar desham chayo nirod evam vadima shramanay swam. The following mantra is said in order to how to transform this. The fact that what we are today, a body prone to sickness, aging, death, cancer, and all these problems. Believe it or not, minimum 99% of our time, energy, resources are simply used to maintain this body. Say we spend at least like 8 hours in workplace to get money. Money for what? For food. For food. Food is to sustain this body. House, that this body will not feel cold, hot, so forth. And then you need like another 6 to 7 hours of sleep to give rest to this body. We see that 99.9% of the time is wasted on this body. Okay, so this we see that yet this body, what is this body? This body is so weak, so vulnerable. It is so weak, so vulnerable that when you don't get a food for like 4 hours, you feel hungry. And when you don't get a proper sleep, again the next day you're full. mind is very hazy, tired. So we see that this body is so weak, so vulnerable. Then our speech, we say something and meant, and then oftentimes we just deliberately say something to create injury, to injure somebody's mind, to injure somebody's sentiments, just to hurt somebody. And then even if you don't intend to hurt somebody, we say something and automatically it hurts somebody else. For example, say if two person comes, then the person A, you know the person A so well, then you say that you compliment the person A, you're amazing, you're amazing, you're amazing. In a way you are saying that person B is not good. Other person will say accompanying the person A is not good. You're so amazing, you're so good, you have such common sense. You are saying that person B is not common sense. Doesn't have common sense. You don't intend to hurt the other person, but look, this is how speech has such a limitation and such a flaw, mistake there, and a mind worse. A mind worse. Just if somebody says with just one word, what a stupid thing that you're doing. Instantly you feel hurt, your mind is affected. Somebody says, how you're so nice. Say if you are, say the age, particularly if you're age 25, 30, oh you look like 25, you're so happy. You're age 30, and somebody says, you look like age, you must be 40. Terrible, right? How dare this person tell me that I'm not 40, I'm just 30. Right? What happened was that once I was in the dental clinic, and the doctor, he said, now I cannot really work so hard, so much, I'm getting old. I asked, how old are you? He said, I'm 67. I said, no, this is not a problem. You're still young. Then he said, how old are you? I said, I'm 70. He said, no. I said, yes, I'm 70. He said, no, it can't be. Then I told him, guess then how old I am. He looked at me and said that I was then, now I'm 50, 51, then I was 42, 43. What did he tell me? You are not 70, you are 65. Then if this is, somebody tells you like, if you're in your 40s and somebody tells you you are like 65, you'll become so outrageous, you'll become so angry. Okay, so the point is that look, this is our mind, how weak our mind is. Just a word can just make your mind move into anger and excited. How weak our mind is. But this is not who you are. Your body, which is so weak, this is not your real body. Your speech, which has so much limitations and the drawbacks, this is not your real speech. And your mind, which is so easily affected, like a small child, like, you know, age 4, 5, 6, just like you snatch the toy, child will cry. Give the toy, the child will be so happy. We are like that small child. We are so easily affected, our mind. This is who we are, body, speech, mind. But this is not your real self. What is your real self? This we're going to explore after the prayers. Okay, so now how to change this is ye dharma hetu prabhava. That why my body, it is not my real body. If this is not my real body, what makes me to have this weak, vulnerable body? The speech, so much of limitation, so much of errors, so much of problems, can easily, like, it's so thorny, and the mind so vulnerable. How come that my body, speech, and mind become like that? Because of the factors, because of the causal factors. They are the respective causes. What are the causes of all the problems? Very clear. All the problems, at the root of all the problems is ignorance. Is ignorance. It is for this reason that modern education emphasizes so much on education. Education is to get into ignorance. If you don't know physics, they teach you physics. If you don't know biology, they teach you biology. If you don't know mathematics, they teach you mathematics. If you don't know Hindi, they teach you Hindi. Right? So this is where all our problems are rooted to the ignorance. Now, how to get into ignorance? This next question. How to get into the ignorance? This next question. Ignorance is like darkness. In dark, you don't see the reality. You don't see what is around you. With ignorance, you don't see the reality. Ignorance blinds you from having the vision of the reality. This is what ignorance is. So how to get into the darkness? If you want to read the books, and then if it's dark, how do you get into the darkness? For example, say you come to Choe, and then it so happens that it's the midnight, and suddenly there's a power cut, and you want to read the book, and what do? Will you pray to Buddha? Oh Buddha, please remove the darkness. If you pray like this, if the Buddha is sitting next to you, Buddha would be very sad. What a hopeless follower. Right? Why don't he light a candle? Why does he not light a candle? Whereas if you light a candle, the Buddha would be so happy. This is a real bright follower, right? Very smart follower. So therefore, to eliminate the darkness, the most sensible thing to do is to introduce the light. Therefore, to eliminate the darkness and the ignorance, it is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness and ignorance can be eliminated. It is only through introducing the light of the wisdom that the darkness and ignorance can be eliminated. Okay, so to eliminate this darkness and ignorance, we need to light the wisdom. For that matter, we need to know what that ignorance is. So it says, Ye dharma hetu prabhava. These phenomena, ye dharma, these dharma phenomena particularly the phenomena of suffering, the suffering that go through, sickness, aging, death, tension, and anxiety, and in school not get the expecting high score and you are not getting that much score as expected. Then in the workplace you expect some promotion, you are not getting it. And in the business, you want your business to grow, it's not growing, it's shrinking. So, and then your children, you expect the children to be very successful, and that they're not up to the mark as you expected. So these are the problems. All these problems somehow they're rooted to the ignorance. So it says, Ye dharma, these phenomena of the problems, hetu is the cause. Hetu is the cause. Prabhava, arise. These phenomena of the miseries, they arise from their causes. Arise from their causes, prabhava. Hetum desham tathagato. Hetum, cause, plural form of cause. Hetum. Desham, these, tathagato, the Buddha, hevatat, said or taught. What these causes are is taught by the Tathagata, by the Buddha. So, the causes, what we learned today, just now here, is that all these problems, the Buddha taught that all these problems are because of the ignorance. And if you look at the writings, if you look at the writings and the teachings of the great saints, not only the Buddha, other great saints, you will see that they mention that all these problems somehow rooted in ignorance. So in all the different traditions, there's the emphasis to light the lamp, to introduce the light of the wisdom. Okay. Tathagato Hevata. Tesham Jayo Nirodha. Now, once you identify that all these problems are caused by the respective causes, particularly ignorance, Tesham Jayo Nirodha. We have to say Tesham Jayo. These referring to these causes, particularly ignorance. These causes, Nirodha. Nirodha is to bring an end, cessation. To bring an end to these causes, evam is thus, evam vati. Vati is taught. Evam vati, Mahashramana, the great teacher, the great saint. Mahashramana, great saint. How to bring an end, the cessation of these causes, as well is taught by the great seer, the great saint. What's this meaning? The meaning you find down there, But what I mentioned is how to correlate the meaning down there versus the word what you find there in the mantra. Okay, we will recite this mantra together. Those of us who know how to recite this with the tune, we will sing this together, and others will listen to us and join us. Okay. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Desham Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhava Hetum Tesham Tathagato Yavatat Desham Chayo Nirodha Evam Vadi Mahashramanaye Swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Dharamsala. Causes as well as taught by Great Seal. Profound, peaceful elaboration, free, clear-eyed and non-compulsive. Such as mental like Dharma and discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching, and silence are returned in words. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the profession of wisdom, which is unknown, unseen, and has the nature of space. It's the object for apprehension of self-realized wisdom, to know the mother of the Buddhas of the 3 times of the obeisance. All composite things impermanent, all contaminated in terms of nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness, selflessness. Transcending sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dharma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru is the source of everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. But the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, of miseries, I beseech you to kindly remain empty to teaching until the end of the expanse of witness and chaos. The Buddha does not wash the negatives of the beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. His special realization of with folded hands I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to chant Dharma for all the Buddha mysteries alone. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have good view. Okay, let us turn to the page 31. Page 31, the mantra of Heart Sutra. Heart Sutra mantra, page 31. This mantra, Tyatha means here is thus. Here is thus. Here's thus meaning how we should be extracting meaning out of our life. How to lead a meaningful life. Tyatha. Om. Same. Om. Don't remain in tension. Don't remain in suffering. Don't remain in confusion. Don't remain in stress. Come out of this. Come towards the ultimate state of ultimate happiness, where you're freed from all tension, stress, anxiety, and so forth. Again, how? By rectifying your own mind. By rectifying your own mind is not matter that only if you are young you can rectify your mind. As you become older, then you cannot rectify your mind. This is not true. Everybody can rectify your mind. When you're in stress, actually it's because of your thought processes. Stress is of 2 kinds. Physical stress, mental stress. When physical stress is there, it can translate into mental stress. When mental stress is there, this can translate into physical stress. And if the stress is primarily because of the physical exertions, over physical exertions, it's extremely important. Don't say that it's mental. It's important, very important to make sure that you take adequate rest. And if this is something which you cannot really say you're overwhelmed by your job and so forth, then it is so wise to, for example, say if you have the family members who are so wise, who are loving in effect, caring towards you, and the same are so wise, who can see things from a very broad perspective. You seek advice from such people. It's very important. Whereas if the stress is purely because of the mental can translate into the physical. When it's translated to physical, then physically you will feel so drained. And then you just work, otherwise you can work for like 3 hours without any problem, without tiredness. Within 10 minutes you will feel tired because the mental stress has translated into physical stress. And with this, you don't have the energy to do anything physically work. So therefore, if that is the reason, if the mental stress is the primary reason for the physical stress, then it is extremely important that we need counseling. And the counseling, best of the counseling is, I would say, they come to Choe and meet with your, the people around, particularly, for example, the Venerable Lama and the other teachers are coming here, and then there are many senior the participants, the members here. You meet with them as the seniors, you listen to them, and this is how you can get the solace. Your stress can be ventilated. Okay. So with this, please come. Okay, with this, we see that it's very important for us to learn, if it is purely mental stress, to learn how to distress ourselves through rectifying the thought processes. That's so important. Okay, with this in mind, then how to bring about the transformation in your thought process. It is not something that you come to Choe for one day and tomorrow you become enlightened. Don't expect that. It must be, for example, even to get a Ph.D. degree. It's not that you join the school today and then tomorrow you get a Ph.D. degree. It's not possible. Is there anybody who did Ph.D.? 1, 2, 3. Okay, Ph.D. When did you start school?
Ph.D.
In school. 1986. You began your school. And then the 1987 you got Ph.D. I see, okay. So it took you some time. 3 years. How many years? 18 years. So therefore don't to get PhD, to be awarded PhD degree and to be awarded with the greatest happiness, right? To be awarded with the greatest happiness, this is much more difficult. For that matter, we need to be consistent and follow the proper path. Okay. Then it is in the form of steps. So what we say is gate. Mantra here says gate, para sangate, bodhi swaha. Five steps are taught. 5 steps are taught in order for us to bring about this mental transformation, so that you will become stress-free and you will have the maximum happiness infinitely. So for that matter, it should be happening in 5 steps. Gate, para sambhati, bodhi swaha, 5 steps. And as we recite this, let us visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni. So this is actually the background of this mantra, is that Buddha Shakyamuni was presiding over the congregation, and then the Aravalokiteshvara. Aravalokiteshvara. Right here, Aravalokiteshvara here, there. Okay. Aravalokiteshvara is on one side, and then Shariputra is on the other side, and the Buddha went into deep samadhi, meditation. And because when each one of us, when we become Buddhas, we will have the capacity to go to meditation. Simultaneously, you can meet with all the other worlds. You can see all the other worlds. So, the Buddha, while being in a deep samadhi, he inspired, he blessed Shariputra to ask question to Aravalokiteshvara. When Buddha was in meditation, then Shariputra stood up, made prostrations to the Buddha, and then turned to Shariputra, Aravalokiteshvara, and asked question: how should child of a lineage practice the wisdom of professional wisdom? Child of a lineage means, okay, how many of you know that in the olden times, say a young boy known as a prince of the kingdom is considered to be extremely, extremely important. Do you know that? Huh? Okay, if Sanika. If Sanika says yes, then O should be yes. How old are you? 26. Okay. So the Sanika is 13, which means everybody should be knowing that. Right? Okay, if everybody knows that, tell me why this young boy, age say 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, does not know anything. Still this boy is considered so important in this kingdom. Why? Anybody? Wait. The younger ones. Sanika, tell me. Why? Yes, because he is the one who has become the next king. Because he is the one who is holding the lineage of the kings. You getting it? Which is more important, lineage of the king or the lineage of the Buddhas? The lineage of the king can at the most benefit, let's say, his kingdom. Buddha can benefit all sentient beings. So therefore, the lineage of the Buddha is more important. How many of you have the lineage of kings? Raise hands. Huh? How many of you have you follow the lineage of kings? No? Hey, no? No? I say no lineage of kings. Don't worry. Even though we are not following the lineage of kings, but we can be the lineage holder of the Buddhas. You get which lineage is more important? The lineage of the Buddha or the lineage of king? Buddha doesn't mean that Buddhism. It doesn't mean Buddhism. Buddha simply means the fully awakened one. The one who has achieved the full enlightenment. The one who has achieved the infinite happiness. This is the meaning of the Buddha. It's not the Buddhism. Don't forget it. Don't mix up the two things. Okay, who wants to follow, who wants to be the lineage holder of the full awakening one? Raise hands. Okay, everybody, very good. Which means that you are holding a more important lineage than the lineage of the kings. So the question asked was, how should the child of the lineage, how should the child of the lineage of the full awakening practice the wisdom of emptiness, perfection wisdom? The wisdom to see everything as interdependent. How should one practice this? This was the question asked. Then the Arya Nagarjuna, he gave the response by saying that we should see the dependent origination in the form that everything that exists, everyone is dependent on each other. We should not be angry towards each other. We should not be harming each other. Because your happiness is dependent on others. If others suffer, you're going to suffer. Right? This being the fact, so therefore you should never be harmful towards others. Always be kind towards others. And I know some of you have questions, but if I'm being kind towards others, then people take advantage of my compassion. Yes, Sanika agrees? Okay, so how should we deal with this? This is known as skillful compassion. Not just compassion, but skillful compassion. Compassion where people cannot take advantage of your compassion. At the same time, you become very strong and you continue to benefit others, and meanwhile people cannot take advantage of your compassion. This is known as skillful compassion. Okay, so for that matter, how can we cultivate this? We have to cultivate this by following the steps. By following the steps, and there are various methods. Various methods we have to approve. We have to follow these methods. Rational methods. By following these, then our mind will progress. Progress in 5 steps. Gate, gate, para gate, para samgate, bodhiso. Okay, with this mind, just visualize the Buddha Shakyamuni, Aravadutishvara, Sheriputran, they are surrounded by all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, all the Bodhisattvas, monks, nuns, lay devotees there. And visualize that Buddha is exhorting us, thus, don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come towards ultimate happiness. And you hearing this melodious voice of Buddha Shakyamuni, you inspire your 2 parents, you inspire all your children, you inspire every sentient being here in Bangalore. Human beings, animals, insects, then spirits, god and goddesses, hell beings, honeywood beings, everyone in Bangalore, in India, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, and in the entire universe. And all sentient beings, hearing what you are saying, they are so inspired, they are following you, and you are telling them that, look, this is what a compassionate teacher, Buddha Shakyamuni, has been exhorting us. Let us not remain in fears of stress, tension, depression anymore. Let us all go to the fearlessness, state of fearlessness, and a state of infinite happiness. And everyone happily joins you in this. Let's recite this with the spirit. Let's recite this 7 times. What we will study for today and tomorrow is the 3 principal parts. Yes?
Actually, the topic today was Sutra for Dependent Origination, tomorrow 3 principal aspects.
Okay, so the Sutra on Dependent Origination and 3 principles. So these 2 are more closely connected. So this is the whole idea, the topic. Sutra of Dependent Origination and the 3 principal parts. Okay. For this, I like to begin. Okay, so this, the 2 days, today and tomorrow, let us keep in mind that what we study for today and tomorrow, make sure that you understand what I'm saying. And if there is anything you feel, okay, I'm not too sure what he's saying, right? If you don't get anything, feel free to raise hands and ask me. And if you disagree, that is even better for me. If you disagree, then you can ask in the form of questions. That will be wonderful. I can learn a lot from your questions. Not only that, I'm sharing what I know, but I can learn Any questions? I already learned a great deal from Choe for the last 10 years. Yes, 10 years. 11, 17 years. Okay, it's like 17 years. I thought it's 10 years. Okay, time flew. But never mind. So what I'm saying is that I learned a lot. Now there are many new faces here. I'm sure that I'll have a lot of things to learn from new faces. Okay. So the idea is that a good philosophy is a philosophy which can go so deep while your natural thinking is actively involved in this philosophy. Whereas there's some philosophy there which have nothing to do with your natural thinking. Natural thinking remains the same. In the class you learn something. Okay, Freud said this, and then the Brussels said this, Plato said this, Aristotle said this, okay, this, and then out of the class, again you are a very different person. This is not good philosophy. Even the Plato's philosophy can be wonderful if you can integrate the Plato's view with your natural thinking. Then the Plato's philosophy will be of meaning and sense to you. Likewise, the philosophy, at least the next today and tomorrow, what we are learning, see that to the best you can. It doesn't mean that I can really make you discover something different reality. This is not what I'm claiming. What I'm saying is that at least whatever we learn, we just see if it has some relevance to your day-to-day life's thinking. So that's very important. And particularly the mode of our study for today and tomorrow is going to be like really interactive. And which means that once in a while I may ask questions to you. Feel free to raise your hands. And particularly those of you who are coming here seeing me for the first time, coming here newly, right? You take initiative to ask me questions, because I know what the long-time friends, what questions they'll ask me, I know what they are going to ask me. So the new faces, I expect you to take the greater initiative. Okay, with this in mind, see if what I'm sharing with you resonates with your thinking. That's very important. And with this in mind, we should become a better person. Again, I'm reiterating, it should make you a better person. It should make you a happier person. This is a purpose. It's not for the sake of you become a Buddhist. It's not a purpose. Okay, with this in mind. Okay, how many of you in your life you are so happy? Wow, I don't know what suffering is. Raise hands. I don't know what suffering is. Raise hands. Are you sure? I don't know what suffering is. There is Nagarji.
Few moments.
Okay, few moments. I said I never know what suffering is. This is my point. Okay, raise your hands those who said, yes, I know what, I'm so expert in what suffering is. Raise your hands. I'm so expert in what suffering is. Huh? Or at least I know what suffering is. Raise your hands. Okay, we all have suffering. Suffering that we go through is of two kinds. Physical suffering and mental suffering. Physical suffering and mental suffering. Two. Meanwhile, physical suffering can eventually be translated into mental. Your mind can go crazy. And mental, when the mental suffering is there, it can make your body go down, immune system go down. This is the reality. Now the point is, tell me, the suffering, when you say that I'm suffering, I have a problem, I have suffering. Okay, anyone from schools? Anyone from schools? One. Only one. Okay, college or universities? One. Okay, school, college, only two, right? Okay, I'll tell you what is mental problem. And you'll agree with me. Just whether you agree with me. When I was in class 10, one of my classmates, he was average in his studies. We were sitting for the board exam, class 10 board exam. Okay, most of you know what is board exam. Sanika, you know board exam? Over there, you go there, you know what Buddhism is. Yes? Okay, go on. JC? You know Buddhism? Yes, of course, we know that. Okay, so we were prepared for the board exam. Oh, Jack? Board exam. Board exam means they say class 10. Like SAT, yes. Okay. Okay. It was the first time, during our time, it was the first time national exam for you. Nowadays in class 9, they have some form from this exam. First time in your life, the national exam, national level exam. There was so much of tension, and there was one boy who was average in the class. What he said was that, what he said was that, okay, tell me, what problem is that? Is it a mental problem, physical problem? What he said was that, Dorji, right, he was telling to me, Dorji, do you think that in this world, there is somebody who is going through more pain than what we are going through now, prepared for the board exam, with this anxiety for the board exam? I could imagine his pain, acute tension, anxiety. What is that problem? Mental or physical? Purely mental. And this mental, if prolonged, it can ruin his immune system. It can just disrupt his sleep. It can ruin his immune system. And many people commit suicide. Because of which, at one point, the class 10 board exam was made very lenient nationally. Okay, so mental problem and physical problem usually. And how many of you feel, one of you wake up, oh, I'm so excited today I'll have a mental problem? Raise hands? No, no one. Okay, nobody wants this pain, but we have this pain. The question is, okay, so this is the reality that we all go through. What would be your question to me? How to get rid of these problems? How to get rid of these problems? Okay, stretch your arms. All of us stretch your hands. All of us. Don't think that's what he's doing. Okay, stretch your arms. And tell me what happened. When he hit the two hands together, what happened? The sound came out. We're getting a sound came out. This sound is a metaphor for the suffering that we're going through. The suffering, the sound is the metaphor for the suffering that we're going through, mental, physical. And this sound should invariably arise by dependence on the two hands. You agree with me or not? This sound invariably, it arises by dependence on the two hands. So this sound is the metaphor for the suffering that we're going through, and the two hands are the metaphor for the external factors and the internal factors. When the two factors come together, invariably the sound of misery arises. You getting it? Okay. What is your next question? What will be the next question? Now I told you that the suffering that we go through, we don't want the suffering. And you ask me how to get rid of the suffering. I said that this suffering is because of the two hands. Two hands symbolize what? External factors and internal factors. Okay, tell me. External factors. Can you give me some examples of external factors?
Someone dies.
Sorry?
Someone close to you dies.
Okay, the death of somebody who's close to you. External factor. Very good. Any other external factors? Sickness. Okay, yes, your sickness, yes. Any other problems? Yes.
Exam date announcement.
Exam dates. The moment exam date comes out, tension is there, external factor. Anything else? Accident, yes. Then? Expectations, not getting promotion.
Society expectations.
Yes, society's expectation on you. Yes, that's a serious problem. And then in the company is not getting promotion. And?
Your boss.
And your boss, yes, your boss. Okay, your boss. Okay,
Someone's playing very loud music.
Play loud music, you want peace, loud music, not letting you sleep in the Sunday mornings. Right? All these external factors. Okay. How many external factors are there? Oh, thousands, billions. Sanika, how many external factors are there? A lot. The daughter spoke practically. A lot. 1,000 billion. Yes, that's true actually. There's 1,000 billions are there. Okay, now the point is, okay, now tell me, let's do exercise. Ready? All of us will do a quick exercise. Ready? Okay. Exercise is pretty simple. It's the mathematical calculation. Mathematical calculation. Don't worry, I'm poor in mathematics, don't worry. It's very simple mathematics. It's plus minus only. Plus minus and also number less than 6. That's very easy for you. Ready? Okay. So what we do is that I will give you the problem and then you do the calculation mentally, not verbally. You speak only when I ask you what's the answer, then you tell me what the answer is. Otherwise, do everything mentally, don't utter a word. Ready? Subhashniji, ready? Ready? Okay. Good. 2 plus 2 plus 2 plus 3. Don't verbally say. Subhashniji, don't say. Okay, let's start from the scratch. Okay. Let's do it again. Let's do it again. Ready? Again. 2 plus 3 plus 2 plus 3 plus 1 plus 2 minus 2 minus 2 plus 1. What's the answer?
Okay.
Amazing! Okay, that's good. I'm so happy. Okay, we'll do it again. You are very good. Amazing. Just keep it up. The same rule, right? Ready? Okay, 2 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 minus 1 plus 2 plus 3 plus 2 minus 1 plus 2 plus 2 plus 1. What's the answer? No? What's the answer?
10.
No? Okay, tell me. Why in the first case you were able to give the answer correctly? Why in the second case you cannot give an answer correctly? Just raise hands. Just raise hands.
Fast and slow.
No. Here.
Fast and slow.
Okay. The first one I said slow. Second one I said fast. How many agree with your name?
Vijay.
How many agree with Vijay? In the second case, why you cannot give the answers? Because I said it's fast. Raise hands. Who agree with Vijay? Okay. Look, you failed to give the correct answer in the second case because I said it fast and your brain works so slow. Both are responsible.
Yeah.
But you are so expert in saying you said it fast. You're getting it? Me saying fast is the external factor. Your mind working slow is the internal factor. Yet you are so addicted, you are so expert in blaming, looking for external. You do not even think that my mind works slow. You do not even think about it. You getting it? So this is where the problem lies. On the one hand, we want to get it for all the problems. You don't want the problems. The moment you have the problem, you go to your mother, you go to your dad, and then cry, it's at this problem. Meanwhile, the problem you always blame external. You never blame internal. While both are responsible. Now, in this connection, I also like to bring to your notice one very important point. That is that some people, most of the people, they only blame external, because of this boss. Right? Because of this boss. Because of the Bangalore weather. Bangalore weather is amazing. And then you blame, it's so hot. It's so hot. Right? We all blame outside all the time, blame outside. We never blame inside. This is one extreme. Those who blame outside, they are looking for happiness outside. They are looking for happiness outside. This is known as materialism. Being materialistic, and the approach is looking for, system is materialism. Then there is another That's the opposite, other extreme. That is, then you start coming to Choe or something, right? Which is spirituality. Then you say, oh, everything's internal, everything's internal. Then you go out, somebody suffer from cancer, no, it's also internal, right? Somebody had accident and hospitalized, I'm so much in pain, no, it's internal. This is another extreme. Both are responsible, external, internal, both. In other words, coming to Choe Ling, we must learn how to be very realistic. Be very realistic. External factors are responsible, internal factors are responsible. Now the job is what?
Find the internal factors.
The job is external, internal, whatever. Your job is to get rid of all the sufferings. You're getting it? This is your job. By blaming external, if your suffering becomes zero, blame external. It's fine. By blaming internal, if you can get rid of your suffering, blame internal. Fine. But reality is, we have to blame both. It's not only one side. If you say internal, and there is no light, Buddha, please move the darkness. You are hungry, Buddha, I'm hungry, please move my hunger. This is totally unrealistic. We should be very realistic. Coming to Choe Ling, you should learn how to be very realistic. You're getting it? External factors are there, internal factors are there. Now how should we deal with this? We need finally to deal with external factors, internal factors for what? To get into all the suffering. Do you agree with me or not? Finally, why should we have to deal with external factors and internal factors? Is to finally, the goal is, let us not forget the goal. The goal is, if possible, to get rid of all the sufferings. If not possible, at least see how to mitigate the suffering. To mitigate the suffering. To undermine the suffering. That should be a goal. With this in mind, tell me, realistically, how many say, if we can, as I said earlier, by tackling the external factors, if you can get rid of the external factors completely, by blaming external factors, if our problems become zero, go for it. There's nothing wrong in it. That becomes your path, right? Okay, what's the problem with you? Because my mom asks, always saying something towards me. What's the problem? My father is so, so overprotective, right? What's the problem? My boss. What's the problem? My neighbor. What's the problem? This food. This food is not good, right? What's the problem? The Bangalore weather. What's the problem? The Bangalore traffic, right? By blaming outside, if your problem becomes zero, do it. That is your path. That is your spirituality. But we have been blaming external factors outside all the time, and did we succeed in this? If succeeded, by now nobody in Bangalore should be suffering. But the suffering increases, which means that the approach that we have taken thus far is not successful. Meaning blaming external factor is alone, is not really the solution. One. Then number two, internal. Oh, this internal, purely internal is very unrealistic. Very unrealistic because we have both factors are responsible. The sound of a clamp is because of two hands. It's not because of one hand. Because two hands. Now the point is immediate measure. For example, if you have some problem inside and then you are screaming. I remember, I think that was back in 1991 or 1992. Some of them not born. Not born. 1992. Only not born. I don't know. Crawling. Malik was not born. Crawling. Okay. So what I'm saying is that I think that was in 1992. There was one monk. In the night, suddenly he started to scream out of pain, abdomen pain. Okay, we have a doctor here. Is there any other doctors? Okay. Screaming with pain. Okay. I will ask the doctor not to give the answer. Others. What should we do now? Quick. Hey, we don't have time. Take him to the hospital. Then what? If you're a doctor, what will you do?
Examine him.
Find the cause.
Cause of the
Okay.
pain.
He's screaming out of pain, right? Screaming out of pain, and paracetamol is there, right? And you say, no. First we have to check the cause, right? Hey, don't scream. Right? I have to check the cause first. Pain is so acute. What will you do? First, give the painkiller. First, subside the pain. This paracetamol will subside the pain. You getting it? Subside the pain. But because she doesn't like biology, I know. She likes physics. Yeah. So the point is that you have to first subside the pain. That medicine should subside the pain. This is not the actual medicine. This is not to cure this problem. You're getting it? And then, after subsiding the pain, then you have to check the cause. Then you realize that because it is because of the ulcer problem. Ulcer is sore there. Then you have to look for the, not just a symptomatic treatment, you go for the actual treatment. You have to then go to the doctor and also what medicine should be given to the ulcer. You're getting it? Two treatments. One is immediate measure and the long-term measure. Two. Likewise, we should be very realistic. We should be very realistic to solve our problems. Don't think that coming to Choe something and attend one teaching, then your problem will be solved. Don't expect that. What is, we should be coming to Choe something, what should we learn? We should learn how to be realistic. This is what we have to learn. How to be realistic. Don't blame external all the time. Don't blame internal all the time. You should know that both are responsible. Both external factors, internal factors, both factors are responsible. And immediate measure, try to curb the external factors to the best you can. Don't expect external factors to be made zero. If you can make zero external factors, one hand symbol as external factors, if you can make it zero, that's amazing. No sound. Internal factors are there, but no sound. But the reality, can you imagine that you can make the external factors zero? Can you imagine that you can make the external factors zero? No. Okay. Just let us see. I'll give an example whether we can make the external factors zero. How many of you, when you're by yourself, you feel so lonely? You will say that, I have a problem. I'm so lonely. If you're with other people, again there's a problem. I have no privacy. This is a problem. External factors, either you should be by yourself or you should be with other people. And there's no third choice. Even the Buddha came up with third choice. This is reality. Either you should be by yourself or you should be with other people. By yourself you have a problem, I'm lonely. With other people you have a problem, I have no privacy. You're getting it? This is the nature of the external factors. You cannot expect to remove all the external factors. Number one, external factors innumerable in number. Number two, even what is seen as conducive external factors can be unconducive for many people. Right? So this is where external factors, they say you have to work to tackle external factors to the best you can. For example, say if the place is frequented with thefts, burglaries, and so forth, then stay away from going out in the night. People can easily kill you or any wrong thing can happen. So take the measure to stay away from the external factors to the best you can. But don't expect that all external factors can be made zero. Right? You stay inside, even with an earthquake, the house can collapse. And the house, which is otherwise meant to protect you, can be the cause of your death. The car, which is meant to take you to make your life easy, the car can kill you. You're getting it? Even the external factors, which are otherwise conducive, can be unconducive for you. But our point is that try your best to stay away from the negative external factors to the best you can. Number one, that is the immediate measure. So for this reason, for the long term, we cannot expect to get rid of external factors completely. Why? A knowledge given, the reason given, one, external factors are innumerable in number. Number two, external factors, what is conducive for one person can be unconducive for others. What can be conducive for you now can be unconducive for you tomorrow. Okay, so with this, the Bodhisattva Shantideva, he gave a beautiful analogy. Let us not forget this. In fact, if you really have mental problems and you don't want to go through these mental problems, you must seek the help of this book. This is the best psychology. This is the best book for psychology to deal with your mental problems, stress, anxiety, and so forth. Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. The book, the title is Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. This is the name of the book, title of the book. A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. Okay, this book. In this book, what this great teacher, Bodhisattva Shantideva, said is that if I come here to Bangalore for the first time and I want to roam around freely with my bare feet, and then we see that the thorns, pebbles, they hurt my 2 feet. Then I say that, Shantila, please do something. I want to freely roam around. Please do something. Cover the entire earth with the leather. Entire Bangalore with leather. Shantila said, what do you see? You're crazy. Right? In the first place, we will not get this amount of leather to cover the entire earth. Just cover your 2 tiny feet with the leather. That suffices covering the entire Bangalore with the leather. Is it sensible or not? Extremely sensible. Instead of thinking of removing all the external factors, remove the internal factors. Internal factors just 2. External factors innumerable, infinite. Just remove the 2 internal factors. Then of the 2 hands, internal factors removed. External hands, however many external factors are there, no sound. However strong the external factors are, there's no sound. So the sound of the misery stops. Finally, your job is not about external and internal. Your job is to remove your miseries. As long as the miseries can come to an end, that is your path. So therefore, from this what we learn is that immediate measure is to get rid of the external factors, but the long-term measure is to get into the internal factors. Okay, with this, what will be the next question?
Which are the 2 internal factors?
What are the 2 internal factors? What other questions you might have? How will you eliminate the internal factors? 2 questions. Number 1 is, what are the internal factors? Number 2, how to get rid of the internal factors? Okay. Sadhanaji?
Will you ignore the external factor?
Ignore.
How long will you ignore the external factor? You might find solutions in the internal factor.
Yes.
But how long will you ignore the external factor?
Meaning before remove the internal factor?
You can.
Or after?
No, you can find a solution in the internal factor.
Yes.
But doesn't mean that the external factor doesn't arise, right?
This is what I told you. This is what we discussed earlier. We should be very realistic. This is the key. One thing that I like to emphasize so much here is come to Choe. The first thing that we have to learn is that we should be realistic. We should learn how to be realistic. Don't think that okay, I went to Choe, okay, now I got the solution, all problems are over. No, don't expect that. We should be realistic. What are you saying? What you're saying is to be very realistic. External factors, I said that short term, the immediate measure, stay away from external factors to the best you can. Stay away. Don't ignore. Don't ignore external factors. You getting it? Okay. This Holiness, the Dalai Lama put it so beautifully. Pertaining to the question which we raised, when His Holiness encourages people to be kind, to be compassionate. And the question was asked to His Holiness that, but you teach about compassion all the time, but when we have been compassionate, But people start taking advantage of my compassion. So what should we do? His Holiness says one very beautiful thing. He's very realistic. He's extremely realistic. What he said was that if a mad dog comes, don't say compassion, compassion. The dog will bite you. Right? If the mad dog comes, run away. Run away. Which means that you can practice compassion at the same time be realistic. Mad dog will not understand your compassion. You have to run away. You getting it? You have to take care of the external factors. Which means that don't ignore the external factors. Always take care of the external factors to the best you can. This is the meaning of to be realistic. You getting it? One. Then the long-term measure is of the two, identify what the internal factors are and then see how to get into the internal factors. You getting it? Okay, this is what we should do. And then Choe something here. For example, Venerable is here, then the Shantideva is here, and all the senior, the members are here, long-term members are here. From this, say the younger ones and even the newcomers who can come here for two benefits. One is just by being with them, you will see that whole world is not dark. They are good people also. They are good teachers also. For example, Venerable and Geshe Namdala and other Metsola and all are there coming to teach here. And then you are very fortunate. And the first place I like to tell you, I told you right from the beginning that Choe, the Bangalore people are very fortunate. You have a place to go. Don't think that, oh, of course there's a Choe, I can go anywhere, anytime I like. Don't think like this. To have Choe for you, this is so precious. Why? Because of this, we must be feeling so grateful to, for example, like Venerable are coming here, and people who take the responsibility, trustees. It's not easy for them. It's not easy, right? People who take the responsibility as trustees to make sure that this center is running. It's for all the people in Bangalore. I cannot be, unrealistic by saying that everywhere in the world they benefit from Choe. I cannot say that, but for sure people in Bangalore they can benefit from the Choe. There are many places where it go, and then they temporarily prepare space, for the teachings, and then the first thing these people will ask is, the people who come, they ask is, okay, how can we continue with this? No space for them to go. Whereas here, Choe. So how come that this Choe is remaining intact? The government assigns somebody that the Choe operates? No, then how does it operate? There are some volunteers there, the trustees. They sacrifice their time. So we should be feeling so grateful. All the people, should be feeling so grateful to the people here. For example, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, bless this. And Lama Subhadra make sure that assignments are given to some people. And the people are there as trustees. They have their own responsibilities. They have their own family responsibilities. They have their own jobs. They have their own work, and so forth. And still, they take the responsibility of supporting this, making this center alive. So therefore, all of us who are everybody all from Bangalore, and particularly those people who are coming here, you are so fortunate, extremely fortunate. So this is what I told you. This place should be used in many ways to learn the wisdom, to learn your compassion. If for nothing, come here and to learn how to breathe properly. Right? At your workplace, you don't know how to breathe. You always breathe from the chest. You know why? Because when you're in tension, you breathe only from the chest. When you have the tension. When somebody breathes from the chest, means the person is tension. Just sit with the other person, and then you say something abusive words, the person will start moving the chest like this. Which is the person breathing from the chest. Breathing from the chest means the lower part of the lungs they are not using. They are not being used. So there's excessive work given to the upper part of the, and this will create problem. So whereas you learn how to breathe properly, upper part of the lungs, lower part of the lungs fully, then your body will get enough oxygen. and your whole lungs will be exercised. So that is so helpful. Even just sit here, sit calmly, you breathe properly. Even this is amazing. So people around, they are like wasting means to help you how to get into the external challenges, external problems, external factors. Meanwhile, then receiving teachings, having the exchanges, the like group discussions and so forth, there then to remove the internal factors. So both are happening here because of the sugar only. Okay, tea break.